Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping two divisions.
No way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, I mean, the best fighter pound for pound, can be Canelo. I mean, a 147 pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather says Terence Crawford won't be able to beat Canelo Alvarez, and the main reason is size. According to Mayweather, moving up several weight classes isn't just about talent. It's about being able to handle bigger opponents, their power, and the pace of the fight. Canelo has spent years facing naturally larger fighters and knows how to deal with that level of strength. Crawford, on the other hand, would be entering completely new territory. Mayweather believes that even with Crawford's world-class skills, the size gap will simply be too much for him to overcome.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Robert Garcia says Terence Crawford is facing one of the toughest tests of his career if he fights Canelo Alvarez. Crawford has been brilliant in every division he's fought in, but Garcia warns that super middleweight is a whole different challenge. Canelo has years of experience fighting naturally bigger opponents and has mastered the weight class. Crawford, meanwhile, hasn't proven he can keep the same speed, sharpness, and stamina with the extra weight. Garcia even notes that Crawford doesn't look quite as explosive or smooth at this size, and that could be a big problem against a champion like Canelo, who is right at home in this division.
Jumping two divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you.
Very
Cheers.
much.
Showbiz The Adult highlights just how high the stakes are for Terence Crawford's potential fight with Canelo Alvarez. He explains that if Crawford can overcome Canelo's size and power, it would take his legacy to an entirely new level, putting him right alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great conversation. Beating a superstar like Canelo would lock Crawford in as the pound-for-pound king of his generation and silence any doubts about his resume. Still, Showbiz points out that this wouldn't put Crawford ahead of Mayweather, whose undefeated record and long-term dominance remain untouched. Even so, the chance to climb that high in boxing history makes this fight one of the most defining moments of Crawford's career, and of the sport itself.
3-time undisputed is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford is right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
Jeff Mayweather had a strong response to Canelo Alvarez's claim that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather. Jeff believes that Canelo's comment isn't really about Crawford, it's about Canelo himself. He explains that since Canelo lost convincingly to Floyd, saying Crawford is superior gives Canelo a way to soften the memory of that loss. Jeff makes it clear that while Crawford is an incredible fighter, he hasn't reached Floyd's level of dominance or matched his long list of accomplishments. For Jeff, Floyd's undefeated record and the way he consistently beat elite opponents speak for themselves, and any fair comparison should wait until Crawford has done much more in the sport.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
but man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
I mean,
want to make himself look like he did something great.